Hello, everybody, and welcome to the monthly Oracle Wisdom. My name is Natalie Sadie. For those of you joining me for the very first time, we are going to have a look at the energies that are in store for us in July 2025. As always, I am doing pick a pile. I have three piles here that I've already pulled the cards for. I have not looked at them. I've just pulled them and we're going to look at them together. So, pile number one, we have Tiger's Eye. Pile number two, we have Shungite. And pile number three, we have the red Tiger's Eye. So take a moment, take a breath, and just really center yourself and ground yourself and think about if one didn't immediately pop out, if one stone didn't immediately jump out to you, take a breath and think about it, Tiger's Eye, Shungite, or the red Tiger's Eye, and just feel which one you're drawn to the most, and that will be the reading for you. If there's two of them, maybe both readings are for you and there's a message in both of them that you need to hear. So just take a moment, figure out which one is right for you, and we are going to get started. So pile number one, which is the Tiger's Eye, if that is the stone that you picked, this is your reading. So we are starting with the Ascending Life Oracle. We are then moving on to the Butterfly Effect Oracle. Both are MahrukhX, and then we are going to finish with the Divine Masters Oracle. I normally pull 5, 3, and 1, but in multiple of the piles, more cards jumped out than I intended, and if that happens, we roll with what comes out. Okay, so the first card out, you will be surrounded by people with different agendas. It may scare you away, but fight it. You got this. So we're living in a moment in time where people are always arguing if people don't agree with us or if people don't agree with them, and everybody wants everyone to be on the same page and feeling the same kind of way. And the reality is that is not how life is meant to be. If everybody was the same, if everybody was a carbon copy of everybody else, this world would be so incredibly boring. So if you are surrounded with people that you don't necessarily agree with, it's not a bad thing. Open your mind, even if you don't ultimately agree with whatever it is they're saying or whatever it is they're working towards. It doesn't hurt you to hear them and to understand why. Because there has to be a lesson in that somewhere, whether it be for you or maybe it's for them. But we need different perspectives. This is how we open our minds. This is how we learn. This is how we understand other points of view, because our experiences, our childhood, our traumas, our joys affect how we approach life and how we see things. It changes the lens that we view the world through. And sometimes you need to think about somebody else's perspective. I keep thinking about a child that is abused, and, often they're dealing with their own trauma and what it was like to be on the receiving end of that trauma. But often with a lot of work and moving through all of those things, there is another perspective of the other, let's say, children in the house that maybe weren't abused but had to witness this horrific abuse taking place. And that changes things. It doesn't alter what happened to the person. It doesn't alter their experience. But what it does do is it gives them another perspective and understanding of how this maybe affected other people and what went on the other side. So I don't know why that's the thought that is coming into my head, but just stick with it. Be open to these different perspectives, because there is something in there that you need to gain from this experience and these people. Be careful who and what you surround yourself with. Okay. So be open to it all. but also just be aware. Be aware if I want to see what the next card is. What I will say is just be aware of what's going on around you and obviously be safe in your decisions and don't put yourself in harm's way or open yourself up to something that isn't healthy. But at the same time, you do need to keep an open mind when you're walking through things. Take chances, you'll realize how perfect something will turn out. So again, I think this really is about opening yourself up. There is just that warning in between all of this that you need to protect yourself at the same time. Um, but these are all for this is all for your growth, and this is all for things that are coming to help you. Okay, so the next card out is it was a necessary ending so that you can pursue the life you're destined to lead. Leave the past behind. So if you're grieving something that has ended, whether it be a relationship, maybe I keep thinking about some dogs that I had back in Australia. They were my two pugs and I adored them. They were my entire life and they were with me through the worst moments in my life that I had to endure. And they died and I was so broken and I thought I had twice the amount of time that I ended up having with them because they should have a life expectancy of 14 years. And I lost them both around the age of 8. It was about 18 months apart, but they lived until about the age of 8. And it was at a moment where I was talking about some very big life changes. And my sister said to me, what would you do if they weren't like if they couldn't go with you on the in as part of this next chapter? And I said, well, I just wouldn't go because I love them so much that I would have stayed for them. And she said that's why they had to go, because if they obviously couldn't go with you to this next chapter, so they had to free you up to go. And I truly believe that she is correct, but it broke me to let go of them because I wasn't ready. So that's a very dramatic example of this. But I think if a friendship has ended, and so many times in life, everything's fine and you think you have this particular friendship for life, and then something happens and it implodes. And it came out of nowhere and you didn't see it. And you grieve and you can't understand why, but it's because that relationship has served its purpose. So whatever has ended, it's fine to grieve it. It's fine to be sad about it, but you have to understand that it needed to happen so that you could move forward in the direction that you need to go towards. And sometimes things just end to create space in life for us so that we can continue on our journey. And it's just not meant to be with those people or with that particular job or in that home or whatever it is. So look for the silver lining, as difficult as it is, because it is there and it will serve you. Be willing to let go of everything you once thought to be true. So I think this comes back to this card. You'll be surrounded by people with different agendas. It may scare you away, but fight it. You got this. I think there's new information coming in that is going to rock your world. And I think it's going to be scary and disturbing. And maybe that's part of what you're letting go, because often when things that we thought to be true are not, we move in a different direction. This is when we can lose people in our lives because they disagree. They want to stay where things were. But once you know certain things, you have to move forward. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. So just be aware that there is obviously change going on. And I want to say evolution for you. And I think it's an incredible thing and it's growth and it's going to be wonderful for you. But you need to be strong in all of this. You need to trust the direction that you're moving in and know that it's for your highest good. So we're moving on to the butterfly effect, and the first card is gateway. A flood of opportunities are coming your way, giving you many choices to venture onto a new path. Listen to your inner voice and let your soul make your decision. Expect to be busy. So yeah, again, I think that these opportunities that are coming in are going to bring so much opportunity, so much growth. And this is the part where you do have to trust that you're making the right decision. And this is the part of listening to your soul. It's knowing even when there might be outside voices going, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. This is where it's up to you to just hear that voice and know and just move off. When I was coming over to the US, Donald Trump had just been elected. He'd been elected in 2016. I moved over here in 2017, and people said to me, "Don't go. He's going to destroy the world, and it's going to be all these things, and you can't go. You can't go. You have to wait. Just wait 4 more years." And I just went, "No, I'm ready. I'm ready, and I have to go. And if it's bad, that's fine. I'll pack up and I'll come back to Australia, and this is what I'll do." I have never had a moment of regret getting on that plane that day and leaving. So again, there will be voices that say, "Don't go, don't shift, don't move in that direction. That's not true. You need to believe this, or you need to do this, and this is where you belong." And it's a difficult thing to listen to that voice, to really go within and really trust what you know in your soul is right and right for you, but it will serve you really, really well. Next card out is rebellion. No more playing it safe. You're learning to care less about what others think and get in tune with your inner rebel. Time to discover your true, authentic self while you reap the benefits. I don't think I need to say any more with that card. It's confirming everything that I just said. This is your moment to really stand up and do what you need to do and what is going to serve you long term in this life. And you need to do it, I want to say, without fear and without regrets. And I do mean that. But if there's fear, that's fine. But you have to move through it, because otherwise fear will rule your life, and that doesn't serve you. So the final the final card out is regret. Stop worrying that you missed your chance. Not all is lost. Keep going. The best is yet to come. Take care of yourself as you continue your journey. Whatever was lost will come back around. So that's the other part of all of this. So much of what we shed when we're on a journey like this is not, it doesn't fit into our lives anymore. It's time to release it, to make space for the new. But if it's something that is meant to be in your life, it will come back around. It will be there because it's part of destiny. And while I do believe that we create the lives that we're living, manifestation is real. The human will, free will is real. We have the will to decide how we move through this life. Ultimately, the amount of growth that we have depends whether we get to move on after this life or whether we have to come back and repeat the same lessons because we didn't make the right choices. So at least when you're taking a risk, you're creating growth for your soul. You're learning these lessons. When you're letting fear dictate how you live this life, that's when you get stuck in this cycle where you're coming back. So this is a moment of choosing the life that it is you want this time around. Moving on to the Divine Masters Oracle, I did just want to pull one card, but there were two cards that leapt out at exactly the same time. So I've put them both in. So we've got Joan of Arc, the sacred activist. Do not be afraid, stand up for your beliefs. So there's very much a theme to this reading that you can't fear, you can't listen to the outside voices, you have to listen to the inside voice, the voice inside you. And, be a warrior. Be the fearless individual that Joan of Arc was. and stand up for everything that you believe in and everything that you believe to be true. And then the final card for pile number one is Rumi, mystical knowing, breaking boundaries, personal experience of God. You know exactly what it is you're meant to be doing. You know exactly where it is you're meant to be going. So you have to listen to it. This to me is super exciting because for me, the thought of monotony and doing the same thing over and over and over again for the rest of my life is terrifying. I need change, and I look at my life and I think, wow, there are so many very definitive parts to it. There has never been that monotony because I hit a point where I have to change something. And there have been moments of great fear as I've done this because I have to let go of my safety net and the things that will protect me. But ultimately, in doing all of that and moving through the fear, it has led me to greater and greater achievements. And I know that this is one of those moments for all of you who selected this reading. So just know that you have it in you. Know that there are incredible things that lay ahead. And for everything you shed, something so much better comes in. So be brave, do it. It's exciting. It's what makes you feel alive. It's what makes life exciting, and just go into it feet first. If you have to, shut your eyes and just sort of run and leap and know that the universe will always catch you. Okay, and now we're moving on to pile number two, which was the Shungite for anybody that selected that. That's right. It's all about truth of what is going on for us. Sorry, I'm just trying to put this crystal down. Okay, so pile number one from the Future Higher Self Oracle. The end of a tough cycle is finally approaching. So you've been going through it, and I know that when we're going through it, it feels as if it will never end. And I know some of the toughest moments in my life, I'm like, there's no light at the end of the tunnel. We're in here forever. And it's not true. And then there were moments where there would be a pinprick of light. And I'm thinking, okay, I can see it, but we're still so far away. But all of a sudden, as you get to the end of that tunnel, that light becomes blinding, and you guys are so close. You're so close. So whatever it is that's been trying for you, just know that you've been making your way through and it will shift. The next card out is learn how to honor and treat your body well. So as you've been going through this, have you been taking care of yourself? Because the reality is when you're in battle, and when you're in battle, you're in fight or flight mode. So you are just focused on, how do I get through this? How do I get to the other side? And it's very easy to let our health, our wellness, everything that helps keep us healthy and vital and active sort of falls to the wayside. And if you have been doing that in terms of letting it all sort of fall to the wayside, it is time to refocus on you. You are getting to a point where, as this battle is coming to an end, you need to refocus and you need to start making yourself a priority, because this is what's going to get you over the finish line. This is what's going to propel you forward and into a much better and healthier space. So make this month, the priority is you, whether it be getting enough sleep, whether it be not drinking as much, or cutting down on the cigarettes, or not smoking, or going for a walk. Maybe your eating habits have gotten really bad. You're eating takeout because it's been easier to do and you don't have time to cook yourself a meal or get a salad or vegetables or whatever it is. It's time to refocus all of that and make sure that that is a priority. Realize you have all the qualities to be a leader. I think when we're fighting these battles and trying to get through, we feel weak because we're in this position and we feel like we're fighting to stay alive and to get to the other side. the reality is to get through these battles is an incredible, incredible amount of strength, inner strength, outer strength, the whole lot. And I know that coming through the abusive relationship that I was in many years ago, I thought I was just beyond broken. And I thought I was the weakest person on the planet. How did I allow myself to get into this relationship? How did I get myself so financially messed up? And there was at the point, at that moment in time, there was one girlfriend who I would see most days. And, there were days I couldn't afford to eat. And she would buy me lunch. And some days I could eat it and I could keep it down. Other days I was so distraught, I couldn't even sort of stomach food. And I remember as I was sort of getting close and I could see the light at the end of the tunnel, I certainly wasn't there yet. She said to me, "Do you know you are one of the strongest women I've ever met?" And I looked at her and I laughed and I cried at the same time. And I said, "What drugs are you on? I am so, so far from being strong." And she said, "Nat, what you have endured, how you got yourself out of it, watching you fight every day to build yourself back up, that is the toughest thing I have ever witnessed somebody do." And I really didn't believe her. And it was many years later that I sat back and I looked at what I achieved and how I got through it. And if I could go back in time and if I had to do it again now, would I do it differently? Probably. Would there be certain things I would shift? Yes. But are there a lot of things that I would do exactly the same? Absolutely. And we never give ourselves enough credit. So just know that getting through whatever it is you've been going through is a huge, huge accomplishment. And you need to give yourself credit for that. And you need to understand that as horrible as this may have been, it is honing your leadership skills. It is honing or strengthening your strengths because you are forced to be in that position where you can build all of these things up. So just know that that's going on. Next card out is let go of the idea that you're not ready. So I don't know if you're feeling paralyzed where you are and feeling like you're not able to get to the next point, which will get you closer to the end of all of this. But whatever it is that's sitting there that you're thinking, oh, I could never. Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could. You absolutely could. And you can. And you should. With greater awareness, you will find the answers you're looking for. So I don't know if those questions are, how did I get myself here? Why is this happening to me? But as you start to honor your body and really take care of yourself, that will help you ground yourself and be more connected with yourself. And in doing that, you're going to get more of your intuition because you're going to be able to be more receptive to the messages that are coming through. And with all of that, you are going to get the answers that it is that you're searching for. And I know it feels like they're not coming, but they are, but you have to create the environment for all of that to come through. And look, sometimes the answers that we need, they will come from an outside source, and that's fine. But you have to get yourself ready so that you're open and available for those messages to come through. And when that happens, if you're not getting the messages, the universe will somehow find a workaround and somebody will come and deliver a random message. I know I've done it for people before. I'll never forget there was a woman, she was a teller in a bank in Australia. And I went in there and I don't even remember what the message was, but I walked up to her counter and I said some random thing about her mother. And she broke down in tears and said, I lost my mum recently. And she was heartbroken. But whatever it was that I said to her was the message that she had been waiting to hear. And like I said, I have no idea what it was. I just remember this interaction. And I remember walking out and thinking I hadn't planned on going to the bank that day. And I don't know why I said what I said. Well, I do, because that was what needed to happen to get the message to this woman. But the same thing will happen for you. If you're not getting it because there's something that's blocking it, it will come to you another way. Don't lose yourself trying to hold on to someone. So if this is what part of this tough cycle is, it might be time to let go. It's very easy in a relationship to morph into somebody else. And I know that every time a long-term relationship of mine ended, I'd realize how much of myself had shifted and changed. And I mean, it's fine to a point because when we're in relationships, there are compromises and we're working with someone. And so we alter, and I don't think it's a bad thing. But when you lose yourself, that is not a healthy state to be in, because when you're in a relationship, there should be unconditional love where you are accepted for who you are, as you should accept the other person for who they are. So, and that's in friendship as well as family, all of that. I get family dynamics are very complicated. Believe me, I understand. But just if you're trying to hang on to someone and you are compromising too much of yourself, it's time to move on. Speaking of moving on, we're going on to the butterfly effect cards. Partnership. A new partnership is making its way into your life who will see your true potential and help you reach it. This could turn into a very beneficial partnership and possibly even romantic. So if it is a romantic relationship you're trying to hang on to, but you know it's not healthy, and I know that when we're in that position and it feels like something is ending, but we're never going to have something as good ever again in our lives, it becomes really difficult. But when you make space, it will open it up for somebody or something else to come in, and it will be so much better. So just know that there is a new partnership coming in. Maybe it doesn't start as a relationship straight away. Maybe you don't even view it that way, but just know that it's there. Delusions. You can stay holed up in your mind, wishing, waiting, and wanting, or you can get up and make the changes. Don't get lost in fantasy world when you can create a reality that is so much better. So yeah, I feel like whoever it is you're trying to hang on to, you're living in a space of, I can fix this, I can change this, I can do all the things, and we'll get there. And that's just, for this, it's not the reality of the situation. When I was in that abusive relationship, we I was constantly told that everything was my fault. It was all my fault. I mean, if it rained that day, it was my fault. And I spent so many months trying to make it right. I would buy him gifts and I would try to be so patient and understanding. And the reality was none of it, none of the big things were my fault. It was him just finding ways to pick me apart. And it didn't matter how many gifts I gave him. It didn't matter if I paid all the bills. I'm really not sounding like I pick relationships well. And in this case, I really didn't. So just know that. But I spent so long and I was in therapy trying to figure out what was wrong with me. And the answer was there wasn't anything wrong with me at all. And you just need to know that if it's this difficult, it's not it's not meant to be. It's not. And so I have a rule in relationships. It's not that you run when things get tough. You absolutely stay and you figure things out, and there are challenges that everybody faces in life, and as a single, as a couple. But when the entire relationship is a toxic cycle and it's difficult, it's not meant to be that way, and not everybody's relationship is that way. And just know that you can do so much better and you deserve so much better. The final butterfly effect card is you will feel empowered to share a unique talent that comes easily to you, one that will give you an endless flow of creativity, sense of peace, and freedom. So there's something that's ready to be released, or what's the right word? Or something that's ready to come out and go and flow into the world. And I feel like if you whatever you've been going through, whether it's the relationship, whether this tough cycle is the relationship, or if that's a different battle, you're going to be able to tap back into that creativity that you have and really create something that's special. And again, this is all about freeing yourself from what it is that's really been sucking the life out of you. So the Divine Masters card that came out for you is Kalima, Divine Severance. Cut the cords to dramas, fears, and limitations. I mean, it actually took a while today for for me to pull this reading out, because some of the cards were literally leaping out and others I just felt like I really needed to shuffle this deck. But this to me is so clear that you really do need to end these cycles. And if you've been working on it, great, keep going, do not stop. Make sure yourself is a priority, that you are focused on you, and do not let anybody guilt you around that. Because I know that if you're a mother, or if you are in a really toxic relationship, they will tell you that you don't deserve this, or you don't need it, or whatever other bullshit excuse is coming through. Especially if you're a mother, you need time. You need time for you so that you can then go back and be the best mother that you can be. So it's time to cut all of that shit out. And it's time to focus on what is going to make you healthy and stronger and able to move forward. And let me tell you, if you are in a toxic relationship and they're telling you that you'll never lose the weight, or you can't have the time that you need, absolute crap. That is a control mechanism for them to keep you exactly where you are. So this is where you need to stand your ground. You need to make sure you're prioritizing yourself and taking care of yourself. And you're going to move through this. And just know that you're not alone, and this is not a path that other people haven't walked before you. And if they could get through it, you absolutely can. So I know that this may be, to me, this is still positive because it's about moving through it, but I understand how tough it can be. But know that to actually do it, get it done, to walk this path and get through to the other side, that frees you up for the most incredible things moving forward. So if it's challenging, that's fine. It's building strength. It's reminding you how strong you are. It's making you even stronger than you were to begin with. And it's going to allow you to move through this world in a different way moving forward. So know that I'm sending you so much love, light, and strength as you move through this month, but it's all good. It's all positive. Okay, so we are now moving on to pile number 3, which was the red tiger's eye. So if this is the pile that you picked, let's get started. First card out is spend more time on your spiritual growth. So have you been neglecting the things that you need to do? It's very easy to get caught up in the mundane day-to-day things of this 3D world, but it is time to refocus, to start your meditation practice again, to ground yourself. Go outside, walk around barefoot on the grass or the sand. Go stand with your feet in the ocean or in a lake or something like that if you're able to. If you can't do that, go get hands on a tree. Buy a grounding mat if that's what you need to do. I've got a grounding mat, and every time I do yoga or any sort of workout or meditation, I sit on that grounding mat. Anything to sort of connect and get yourself back in that practice. You will break free from all that no longer serves you. So this month, there may be the cutting of cords and moving forward and letting go of certain things, whether it be where you're living or a job or people or friendships that aren't serving you. But it's creating space, and it will also create peace, because often if we're in a place that doesn't serve us, especially if it's a job, the noise and the drama that comes with it is not healthy, and it's all consuming. And this is why we can lose track of the spiritual practices that we need that keep us moving forward in life. And all this crap just tangles us up. Almost, I'm picturing a fly in a spider web, and it's time to free ourselves of all of that. Don't forget to fulfill your needs while helping others. It's that same thing as being on a plane. And if you're traveling with the child and the oxygen masks drop down, you have to secure your mask before helping anyone next to you. If you are not in a good space, you are not going to be in a place to help anybody else. So this is, again, this is why spiritual growth, getting back to your meditation practices, all of that is so incredibly important, because all of that will give you the energy and the power and the ability to help everybody around you. And you don't need to help everyone, but maybe it's one person. But if you are drained, if you are not in the space to do it, you are going to be no help to them at all. So make sure you're eating well, you're sleeping enough, getting enough rest. Maybe it's just you need an hour a day to go and sit somewhere and read a book or watch a mindless TV show just to recharge and feel like you've got that energy that you need. Whatever it is, make sure you're doing that. Spend less time worrying about your appearance. You're enough. We all have our own inner critic, and that critic will sometimes criticize different things depending on who we are, and it depends on how we were criticized as children or teenagers. You know, kids are mean when you go to school and will say horrible things. Siblings, all of that. And once these things get into our psyche, they're there all the time. But you are here and you are incredible exactly as you are. So you need to get in that frame of mind. And I say this as someone whose self-critic is out of control. And I mean, I had a career, I still have a career in the modeling industry, but in doing that, I understand every flaw with my body, my face. I know what's even, what's uneven, when I've gained too much weight, when I'm too skinny, and all the different things. And I mean, there are other things from my childhood that go around in there all the time, but I manage for the most part to keep it under control and keep moving forward. But there are moments where those voices can get very, very loud. And if that's happening, you need to find a workaround as to why that's happening, and be able to talk about it. On my Natalie Sadie YouTube channel, there is an interview with psychotherapist Ida, and she was the woman that I did 5 years of really full-on therapy with. And her therapy, her name was Ida, but her therapy was called internal dialogue alignment, which also spelled Ida. And in that interview, we talk about how her therapy works. But so she would talk to the different facets of your personality and ask why we were the way we were. And there's a whole visualization that goes with it. But essentially, when my critic is out of control, I meditate and then I go have a conversation with him. Why are we doing this? Why do we feel the need to go through this and all of this? It's not helpful. And then I give him another job. And I get, for some people, this may sound absolutely crazy. I'm just giving you an option as to how to quiet those voices. And that generally works for me. And so most of the time now the voice is quiet. Every so often it starts up again. I do the meditation and I get through. But if you watch the interview with Ida, and I will link it below in the comments here on YouTube, it may help. It may give you an option, but find a way to make that quiet, because you are absolutely perfect, and there is nobody like you, and that is why you're so perfect. Next card out is don't spend too much time in despair. Move through the emotions and release it. So This to me goes back to this card. You'll break free from all that no longer serves you. So, as you're breaking free, when you're going through that release moment, there are emotions. There is grief at times, depending on what it is you're letting go, and that's fine. Feel all the feels, cry and get it all out of your system, and then move on. Just don't allow yourself to wallow and get stuck in that space, because that's not where all the good things happen. It happens on the other side of that. So grief is fine, anger is fine. Just don't get stuck there. You will get what you wish for, but is it truly what you want? I love this card with the genie just starting to come out. Should we say the magic starting to sprinkle out? So this is the whole thing, and people will often say with, especially with manifestation, be very careful and be very clear about what it is you want. And you do need to be careful when you manifest, because you will get what you put out there. So this is why when you are manifesting, you need to be so detailed. And I remember for a time I was talking about something that I wanted, and I was talking to somebody about why it wasn't happening, and they said, "Well, what are you putting out there?" And I told them, and they went, "It's not specific." And I said, "What do you mean?" And so it was trying to manifest the perfect partner for me. And one of the lines that I would say, somebody that can handle me. And I would say it because I'm a very strong personality. I can't date a beta. I need someone who's strong enough to stand up to me, to challenge me, to put me in my place when that needs to happen. But someone that's not going to come into my life and just say, yes, Natalie, yes, Natalie, yes, Natalie. And they said, okay, but that's what you have to say, because someone that can handle me could be so many different things. And that for me was the turning point. So now when I manifest, I am so very specific down to the tiniest, most minute details. And just when you're focusing on all of that, make sure it's exactly what you want. Because sometimes we put things out there and we're not sure, and then it comes true or it comes to fruition, and then we're sitting there going, what happened? This isn't what I wanted, but yet it is. So just be take the time to sit and then really think about what it is you want, and be very, very clear as to how you want it to look, where you want it to go, all of that. Moving on to the butterfly effect. Card number 1 is repeat. You run the risk of repeating the same story. Whether it's setting boundaries or finding the courage to speak up for yourself, it's time to do things differently. And this is part of breaking free from all that no longer serves you. When we get stuck in the same place with the same people doing the same thing over and over and over again, this is where we get stuck on this merry-go-round, and it's not where you want to be. And this is also, don't spend too much time in despair. Move through it, and move through the emotions and release it. If you get stuck in this place, it's very easy to go back to where you were, because you're stuck in your feelings and you feel like you've lost something that you needed or you desperately wanted. So this is where you need to be again. Same with manifesting what you want. You do not want to get stuck in these cycles. So just be aware, and that will help you to continue to move forward and push through, especially if you're in the emotional part of it and grieving the loss of something, rather than going backwards and going, well, maybe it wasn't all that bad. Think about that card, because you don't want to get stuck in repeat. Relocation. There's going to be some sort of change in your home, or possibly moving into a new place. Get ready to explore your new environment. So this could be you redesign a room. Maybe you're changing your bedroom to create more of a sanctuary. Maybe it's changing your living room because you want it to be cozier or less clutter. Whatever it may be, but I mean, if you have the opportunity to move, sometimes that new space, fresh energy can change everything. So just be open to that if it's not already happening. And the final butterfly effect card is angelic help. Your angels are relieving you of your burdens. You'll notice you'll begin to feel lighter, your worries and fears fading away and embracing your own inner breakthrough. So you have support on the other side, and allow them to carry that for you. The other thing is you can ask your guardian angels, your guides, the archangels for help. You can ask them for help. You can ask them for healing. They are not meant to get involved just on their own, but if you ask them, they will be there and they will support you. So just know that that's available to you. And again, we come back to the very first card, spend time on your spiritual growth. When you're meditating, when you're getting in touch with all of that, you feel a little closer and it's easier to communicate with them. So the first card out from the Divine Masters Oracle is Ishtar, Inner Learnings, Follow Your Heart and Truth Prevails. I feel like this is part of the release of old things and release of things that don't serve you. That's part of following your heart. It's knowing that it's time to move on. And you know it's time. It's just because you know it's time, it doesn't make it easy. But Ishtar's going to be there and helping you with all of that. And Serapis Bay, paradigm shift, activation to grow, make the necessary change. So this is the whole thing. These two jumped out at the same moment. You need to listen. You need to follow your heart. You need to listen to the messages that are coming through. And as much as you may want to stay where you are, it is absolutely time for change. And this is why, again, that spiritual growth card is one of the first ones out. It is time to get in touch, and it's really time to level up and grow for you. And in doing that, there is going to be so much change and shifting. So this is why you need to be in touch with this, because that will make the manifestation easier. It will make it more concise. It will make it more clear. And so this is paramount to how the whole month plays out in terms of the releasing of the things that don't serve you, shifting your space, whether it be shifting furniture, whether it be actually moving and relocating. It's all there, and you have so much support and guidance that you need to lean into it and just run with it. It's time. I hope that this helped you. I hope that it resonated. And as always with all of my readings, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. I know that not every reading is for every person. And I am just about to do the weekly Oracle Wisdom. I wanted to get the monthly up first, get it out early, not a day or two late. And I hope everybody has a wonderful July, and happy 4th of July for those of you who are watching here in the United States.